Okay guys, so today I'm going to help you get started with your Microsoft Word newsletter project. The first thing you're going to do is open up Microsoft Word. The best way or the quickest way to access Word is to click the Start button, and then in the Search Programs and Files box, just type Word. And guess what? Word is going to show up at the top, first option. Okay, so we're using Microsoft Word 2010. I'm going to follow the directions exactly of the document that you have to use to create this activity. So the first thing we're going to do is to change the margins. To change the margins, the directions tell us to go to the Page Layout tab, which is here. So click on Page Layout and click on the Margins button. We're going to come down to Custom Margins, and we're going to set the margins to 0.75 all the way around, just like the instructional manual tells us to do. So 0.75. I'm going to hit the Tab key on my keyboard to go to the next tab for bottom. So 0.75, left is 0.75, and right is 0.75. I don't have to do anything. Ooh, I have an error. I don't have to do anything to the gutter or gutter position. So I'm going to click OK, and you're going to notice nothing has changed to the document as of yet. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is page 9. It tells us to add a title. Well, in the manual it tells us the title should be Tiger News, but because Susa is home of the Cobras, we're going to type Cobra News. Alright, press enter. Next, it tells us to type a publication of, and then in parentheses, your school. So we're going to type a publication of Susa Middle School. Press the enter key. You will now have 3 lines of text. The first two have text, and the third does not have any text. So we're doing the right thing thus far. We're going to skip changing of the views. You can read that on your own, but there's nothing to be done there, so I'm going to ignore it. I'm moving on to page 11, where it says Format Text. So the first thing they want us to do is select our Cobra News. Okay. Page 12 wants us to go back to the Home tab and come over to the Font Styles. Click the down arrow. And, oh, before I do that, does it matter? They tell us to use the font pull down menu in the font group and choose a new font. So they don't specify which font to use. In the picture they suggest Rockwell, but you can choose any font you want for this activity. I'm going to choose Algerian. You choose the font that you like. Alright. Next, we're going to change the font size to size 72. So I'm going to click the down arrow for the font size and scroll down, or just click on 72, and there it is. Next, they want us to bold our font, so I'm going to go to the font group and click on the B to bold. Now, I don't really like how my font looks now since I bolded it, so I'm going to change that. Okay, I'm good now. Alright, next thing they're going to tell us to do is they want us to make sure we're still on the Home tab and go to the Paragraph group. Here we are. And they want us to click the Center button or Control E to center our text. So I just did that, and I'm going to minimize this so you can see the screen better. So now our text is centered. So I just clicked here, and when I click on my font, you can see the center is on. Okay, next, they want us to select a publication of Susa Middle School, and they want us to change the font again so that it matches the font of our title. So I'm going to click back on my title, and I see I chose Bookman Old Style. So whatever font you chose for Cobra News, use that same font. Here's a quick little tip just so you know. The last font you use, or the most recent font, will be the first font to show up. Alright? Next thing they want us to do is they want us to change the font size so that a publication of Sousa Middle School goes all the way across the screen without going to the next line. So for me, what I'm going to do is choose the down arrow for my font size and just hover over each font size to see which font I'm going to use. I think it's going to be 26. 28's too big, so 26. So they want you to choose a font that's going to allow your words to go across the screen without going to the next line. Okay? So we did that. Next, I want you to press enter 3 times. This is not in the manual. This is Ms. Conti's suggestion. So 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm going to go back to my Cobra News. It's time for us to add a border, and this could be a little tricky. So the first thing I want you to do is select your title and a publication of Sousa Middle School. Stop right at the end of the L in school. Next, we're going to go back to the paragraph group, and we're going to go to the borders and shading option, which is right here. Click the down arrow, and I want you to choose borders and shading, and make sure it's on the borders tab, not page border or shading, but borders. And they want us to choose either the box or the shadow. Choose whichever one you want. I like the shadow, so I'm going to choose shadow. And the style is a thin line, but if you want to change that line so that it's a double line, if you click the down arrow, you have other line options. I'm going to choose the double line, but you choose whichever one you like. It's up to you. When you're done, click OK, and boom, we have a nice box around our publication of Sousa Middle School. Okay? The next thing they want us to do is to save our document. So you can go to File, Save As. And Cobra News is a great title. Make sure you click Documents and click Save. Okay? I'm going to put my cursor immediately underneath that box. And I'm now ready to begin typing the text for my newsletter. Except for one thing I forgot to tell you. Page 20, they want us to add a break. So in order to add a break, our directions tell us the newsletter you're creating will have a heading and 2 columns of text. You can use sections breaks, so different parts of the document can have different numbers of columns. So click the space below the heading, and we're there. The cursor should be blinking below the bordered text. Ours is. They want us to go to the page setup group and choose the breaks pull down menu on page 21. So let's go to the page setup group, which is located on the page layout tab. So click on page layout. Here's our page setup group, and they want us to click on breaks, which is right here. So click on breaks, and the text says choose the continuous option, which is down here under section breaks. Okay, did that. Next, they want us to go, they have a message, the document will not visibly change if you are in print layout view. But if we go to the view tab and choose draft in the document views group, we'll be able to see the break. So if we click on view and go to draft, you'll see your new break is right here. Okay, so let's go back to print layout. Alright, next we're going to add our columns. So go back to the page layout tab and click on columns and click on 2 columns. Now, you will know your columns are here if you go back to view and you click on ruler. At the top of your page, you're going to see a ruler that's been split. Okay? All right. moving on to page 25. We are now ready to begin typing our text. So to add body, the first part of the newsletter body will be a short introduction. Press the enter key on the keyboard. I just did. That's a lot of space. So I'm going to click this space right here and click home. And I'm going to choose 12 because that's a lot of space. That's better. And I'm going to type welcome. Okay. Now, it tells us use the size pull down menu in the font group to change the font size to 14. This is page 25. So I'm going to change my font to 14. And then it tells us by default line spacing is set at 1.15. Click the line spacing button in the paragraph group. Choose the 1.0 line spacing option. So here we are, paragraph group. Here is our line and paragraph spacing. So I'm going to click that, and now they want us to choose 1.0, so I did. I'm going to change my font again because it's still on 26, back to 14. And now I'm ready to begin typing the text. You're going to type the text that you see in your manual. The only difference, you're going to change Tiger News to Cobra News. So welcome to the fall. And you know what? Let's change it to spring since we are now in the spring season. Spring edition of Cobra News. I'm typing exactly what I see in my manual. I'm substituting summer vacation with winter vacation. I'm going to press enter and type the rest. And you're going to continue typing and following the rest of the directions in your manual. And I'm going to release so that you can finish. And hopefully this video has helped you with starting this newsletter. You can do this. I know you're going to do a great job with it. Take your time. Don't allow the size of the manual to intimidate you. You can do this and do a good job with it. So watch the video, go along with me in the video, rewind the video. If I went too fast, I apologize. I was just trying to get you started. Remember, save as you go. Shortcut key for saving is Control S. If you don't finish in class today, then save it and backpack it. If you finish, turn it in. All right, have a great day. I will see you on Monday.